go around carrying a T-bone steak, but you can go around carrying higher value treats. And whatever that might be, I don't know. So I have different treats in my pocket all of the time. I've always got it when I'm working with dogs. And I try to find out what treat will be the higher value treat, and that's what I use. So I'm going to give her one of these treats right now, just to let her know that I have it. No reason for it.
Magic pouch.
And see if she even likes my high value treat. Gentry, are you interested in this at all? Is that any good? Huh? I just made it for you today special.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but you're not looking at me, so that's more important so far. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe we've changed things a little bit.
That's right. And I realize that
Did we
pouch
change
is
things a
magic.
little bit? Huh? Huh? How you doing, Gentry? Oh, that's not the high value. That'll work though. Yeah, I'll give you that too. All right.
Yeah, when someone comes to the door, I try to use hot dog.
Okay.
That seems to be.
And hot dogs are good. A lot of people like hot dogs to use. A lot of people like to use cheese. I don't care what the high value treat is, but it should only be given in the high. The reason I'm giving her right now is just I want her to know that I have it.
Right, right.
But when you're going out with her, walking with her, whatever, and there's people coming the other way with another dog, and you see them coming. I mean, I'm not talking about when a squirrel happens to run in front of you and you weren't prepared.
Right.
You're walking down the street, you see Betty's coming the other way with her dog. Give her a high value treat just to remind her that you have it. We'll do that time. And then as you get closer to Betty, get more high value treats down there and ready for her. If she has to go potty, that.
Oh, I think she's the smell.
Okay. So it's very important that you do that. If you don't do that, and she would rather be going after Betty and her dog, or whatever you, like you said before, something better, then you lose that, you lose, okay? So you can see I have the long lead here, and the video that I had given you to look at that I did the other day. So the video that we had, that I had you look at the other day, talked a little bit more about putting her in a position where she can watch the better things. So we're going to say in this example, other dogs, all right? Where she's not walking and Betty's coming with her dog, where you're just here and she's watching Betty walk with her dog and Sam with his dog, and over there she's watching the geese flying and the squirrels running around, but you're stationary.
Yep.
Okay? And I'm going to bring out a dog in a little while just to see how she reacts, and we're going to test that. What you want to do is you want to find the distance that you can be where she is satisfied with just sitting there and watching.
Sure.
That you could almost let go of the leash. And if you had a leash, what I would do is I'd even pretend that you're not holding the leash by stepping on it like I just did here. What are you doing up there?
Yeah.
What do you think you're doing? Okay, so the jumping up is a little different issue. That's a learned behavior too. That's a behavior she probably learned the first couple of days when she came home with you. When she was this big and cute, not that she's not cute now, but she was not able to be a burden by jumping up.
Right. Yeah.
And so she came and she jumped up on your leg, and you probably picked her up even and held her and kissed her and hugged her, and you told her then that's how you do it.
Right.
So to get her to stop jumping will take a little bit more time.
Yep.
The biggest key that I can tell you is that when she jumps up, and you just saw now when she jumped up on me, I didn't even push her with my hands.
Right.
Because if I push her with my hands, I'm touching her.
Right.
So, oh, good.
Yep.
I'll jump some more, he'll touch some more.
Right.
So try to knock her off balance, try to get her away from you. In the old days, they would knee a dog. I'm not suggesting you do that, but you can use your leg to kind of knock her off balance so that and ask her to sit, and then give her a treat right away again. Again, the treat. science has proven a couple of things that we didn't know 20 years ago or thereabouts. One is that positive reinforcement training works, and it works better than discipline did. Okay, discipline works too, but it doesn't work the same way as positive reinforcement training. A lot of people don't like the positive reinforcement training because it involves a lot of treating, and a lot of people have an attitude, if I told her to sit, she should sit because I told her. By now, you know, she's 20 months old, she knows that, and I should. Well, not true. The treat is a reward for the behavior that you want. So don't be afraid to give her the treats.
Yep.
You don't seem to be.
Nope.
But I'm also talking for the advantage of the video
Right,
here
sure.
too.
Oh, yeah. Yep, we go through a lot of treats.
And again, the high value treat for the high distraction moment.
Right.
Now the other thing that I wanted to talk about, and I'm not against the type of leash and harness that you have. However, I am against it when it comes to training. All right. I happen to like this harness because this harness still keeps the leash in the right spot, whereas some harnesses are on the back and slightly down the back. And as soon as you start on the back and slightly down the back, you start to change the fulcrum. You start to change the fulcrum, and you actually give the advantage to the dog's power source, which is its hind legs. Their front legs are not their power source, their hind legs are their power source. So when you change that fulcrum and you move that harness point on the back and farther down, you actually give her more power to pull you and create an issue. What I like for training purposes only is a martingale collar. And I like the martingale collar that has the chain. Some of them just have the cloth like what the collar is made of. I like the chain because it adds weight and it brings the collar back down when you release holding onto the leash tightly. And I like that collar to come down so that I can use some of the different advantages of the collar. Now the martingale collar is similar to a choker, except it can't choke and beyond whatever you have it set. Whereas a choker could choke all the way down. So what I like to compare to when people are using the martingale collar is, I'll just use a husband and wife as an example. Husband and wife are walking down the street hand in hand, Valentine's Day. And Betty comes walking up with her dog and they're talking, and all of a sudden husband starts flapping at the jaw about something that she doesn't want him to tell Betty.
Right.
So she squeezes his hand a little bit to let him know, shut up. Well, that's what the martingale collar does. It just kind of squeezes it enough where the dog can feel that there's pressure, but not enough pressure to choke the dog. Okay? And it also now starts to tip off the dog that she's out of bounds, just like the lady is tipping off her husband. Right. All right? If he keeps flapping at the jaw, she's going to tell him, Joe, shut up. Right? Or something. Yep. And so the martingale collar I would recommend that you get. You can't generally get it. Don't worry about it. I'm training her not to do it too. Okay. By ignoring her, and I'm moving my body. So she's not bothering me. If you feel you need to say something to her, that's okay too.
Okay, yep. No, I try to just, shut up and turn away from her and make her, but yeah, she's not.
The martingale collar, like I just showed you, generally I haven't been able to find them in the big box stores, but you can get them from Chewy and you can get them on Amazon. Okay. If you decide that you want to do it.
Okay.
The only reason that I say that is if we're going to end up using the long cord, which is something that I recommend too. I don't know if that video talked much about the cord or not.
Yeah, it did. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yep.
If you're going to use the long cord, you want to have that added advantage of that slightly closing apparatus that the martingale collar provides, and that this doesn't. because you want to give her as many clues as possible that she's out of bounds, and that's one of them. Okay? And again, not so tight. It should be only tight enough that her collar is on her neck right now.
Sure.
Two finger type thing, so that it can't get any tighter than that. I just want her to feel the pressure that something has changed on the collar. Just like on any other collar except one that's linked to a harness like what you have, what happens is if she starts to get out of bounds, the collar starts to turn on her neck. So does the martingale collar, but it also compresses at the same time as well.
Sure.
We like that collar turns because as she's walking out of bounds and she feels the collar turn, she should back up. But when she doesn't back up, then the martingale collar starts to compress. So that's the second tip off, that she should back up, that she shouldn't be pulling you. Okay? The reason I'm talking so much about the leash, the collar, and pulling is if you can get her to walk with you perfect, and maybe you are not having any issues with that, if you can get her to walk with you perfect, the recall will be easier for her to deal with. Okay? It all starts with the leash. It really does.
Yep.
And loose leash walking.
Yep.
And anytime that you can walk your dog consistently, squirrels going by, Betty and her dog going by, anything else that is, we'll use the word better, and she maintains just about what we have right now, this nice loose leash, the letter J kind of thing, now you're okay. And that's what you're trying to achieve. Okay? And if she's out there playing and you can get her to come back. So with the long cord, I have a more expensive cord because I use it for training purposes, but I would recommend that you just go, in fact, if you hang on to this, I actually have the other too.
Come here, bud. Leave it. Come here. Hey, Gentry.
All this is just a rope that I bought at Ace Hardware. I put a hook on the end of it. That's all you really need for this training purpose. Okay? And what you're going to end up doing over time is cut some of the cord off. Like I have in that video. But only when you know that she's reacting to your command every single time at the distance that is the full length of the cord. So when you say that you're out and she's playing and running around, if that maximum distance is 50 feet, I don't know what it is, but if it's 50 feet, then get a 50-foot cord so that she learns that even though I'm 50 feet away, Mom somehow got control over me.
Right.
And then once you know that you don't even have to pull at 50 feet, that she's going to come in, now you can cut off 10 feet of the cord. She still has 50 feet around out there that she can play, but you only have 40 feet of leash, but she doesn't know that. Then you cut off another 10%, another 10% until there's nothing there, and then she has now learned that when Mom calls, I'm coming back, and Mom no longer needs to have a cord. Like I said in the tape, this can take a short period of time, or it could take a whole year. It just kind of depends on her. I'm going to recommend too, and I might have done this when you bought her, because I generally talk about this book all of the time. It's called The Other End of the Leash, and the author is a great trainer. Her name is Patricia McConnell. She's got several books, but one of them is called The Other End of the Leash, which refers to you.
Correct.
Okay? And she, I believe I'm saying this right, has a PhD in animal psychology. She doesn't train anymore, but she's from Madison. So she was a great asset to have in our state.
Right.
The book talks a lot about understanding animal behavior. And in some of the book, parts of the book, she gets away from dogs and talks about other animals, but it's all relative. I recommend you get the book. I don't get any royalties from it.
Sure.
Patricia, if you end up seeing this video and you want to send me
there you go. Send them some cash.
But no, it's really a great book. and I recommend you get it. You can get it on Amazon. It's probably about $15. I don't really know. Get it. It'll help, especially with a 20-month-old dog. She's not an old dog, but she's 20 months old, meaning she's had 20 months to learn some unwanted behaviors.
Sure.
So we have to work a little bit, and that's a great random treat right there.
Relax, relax, relax. Relax your little hip. Up, lay down. Relax your hip. Nope. Come here. I know it's a scary sound. Scary. She likes to come up. Stay. Just relax. They use the word relax for the spider. Yep, but you won't. But anyway, that's
So, all right. That was very good, except she won.
yeah, she did because I gave her the treat. Yeah.
And she didn't relax.
I gave up. Right. Yep.
And so she learned.
Hey.
That,
Lay down. Go on. Go on. Lay down. There you go. Good girl.
Good.
Two of them. Good girl.
so something as simple as that can teach her not to come when called.
Right. If I halfway do it.
So a lot of times I'll tell people, if you've ever been to a chiropractor and you tell them that you have a bad back right here, it hurts, and all of a sudden the chiropractor starts massaging your leg or your ankle, and you say, "No, doc, it's my back."
Yeah.
And he says, "Yeah, but there's a muscle and a tendon that's connected to this and that's what's causing your back injury." Well, you may not think that her not relaxing is the word you're using has any effect on the recall, but it does.
Sure.
It
Yeah.
does,
Yeah.
and other things too. If you've told her to sit and you gave up because the phone rang,
Right. Right.
or I can hear the water is boiling on the stove, and so it's very important when you're going to have a
Train.
formal moment of training, which is what you just created.
Right.
You created a formal moment of training. It's very important that you follow through
Sure.
to the end
Finish it. Yep.
and make sure that you have the time to do it, because
Right.
sometimes
Yep.
there might be distractions. You're right, the noises the truck's driving, the vibration on the ground from the truck all the way here, she can feel it. My dogs, every time a truck goes by, you can hear them bark because they can feel it. So you have to make sure that you're
All in.
that you're all in until you win.
Yeah. Sure. And I would have, but I thought, well, these poor people, I'm trying to learn recall.
No.
Yeah.
That's it's okay. What we're trying to do here today is maybe touch base on what's caused the problem too,
Sure.
and by me seeing that, so I've seen the type of collar that you're using, that I feel that you should change that for training purposes. I just saw a training moment that you created that she won, you lost, and that helps. That helps everybody understand how some of these things.
Did it hurt? Hey, lay down. Good.
So now I'm gonna, let's walk over here and put her on the long cord,
Okay.
and